everybody. We are working on day 8 of our mobility challenge today. We're coming back to the scandasanas. It's a wide forward fold variation. We're going to work with our lower back. Okay, census shows that one of the biggest injuries or problematic issues that people talk about is back pain. So this is going to be our emphasis today. So go ahead and come to your mat. You're going to find a wide forward fold, and you're going to start to take that breath and shift that weight forward to what's now the front of your mat, okay, or the wide portion of your mat. So you can see I'm looking at my feet. I want foundational work. All edges of those feet are pressing down into that mat so that I've got stability in my ankles, and that's going to follow all the way up my legs. Take that breath forward. I'm going to get that nice flat back, and then exhale as I fold. I'm going to start to work my upper body down to the mat. Now, you can use blocks here or pillows, okay, if the mobility maybe isn't exactly where we can be, where we can connect our forearms to the mat. So you've got some options there. And every time I inhale, I'm shifting the weight to the balls of my feet. As I exhale, I'm engaging. I'm creating this midline work as I pull my inner thighs together, like I'm squeezing an imaginary block, and then I'm pushing back out through the outer edges of my feet. Another variation here is to start to work the hands now to the other edge of my mat. So this is a great back stretch, but you've got to really make sure that you've got a tight core. And as I reach my fingers forward, I'm pushing oppositionally as I curl my shoulder blades together. Go ahead, come to a flat back, and we're going to take our breath as we inhale, and we're going to shift our weight to our right foot. So this is our first variation of our skandasana here. Okay, so as I work to the right side of my mat, I'm oppositionally pushing to the left side of my foot. I'm going to come back to center with my breath. Deep inhale as I shift my weight forward to my left foot. Exhale, oppositionally push weight to my right leg. So you're going to feel a really great stretch to the hamstrings, but we also want to get that stretch into that low back or that side body, okay, or the top of that IT band. So really make sure that we get that breath and let that breath expand in and out through the rib cage as well. Inhale, go ahead and come back to center. And now option 2 for skandasanas. As we take that breath, now we're going to start to bend that right leg. I'm going to connect my right tricep into the inside of my right leg, oppositionally pushing. And we start to deepen the stretch into the inner thigh. Come back to center, and now we're going to move that same technique, that same oppositional work to the left side of my body. Go ahead, make sure we're constantly looking at the feet here, okay, so that we've got the setup that we want, right? Foundation starts at the feet, everything else follows. Come back to center, and once again, we're going to come back to the right side. Deep exhale as we sit those hips back into that imaginary chair. Inhale, come back to center, and exhale, sit the hips to the left. And you can play with flowing with this a little bit more, right? Inhale, exhale, deepen, inhale, come back to center. You can play with that flow. Okay, so here's our third variation. We come into a full skandasana. Tricep connects to the inner part of that right leg. Toes flip up on that left foot. Sit deeper into that stretch. And switching sides. We've got to be careful here, guys, is making sure that we do not hyperextend or lose the engagement of the quadricep here. So I've got to really push weight into my right heel here. Come back to center, and once again, shifting our weight back to our right side. So again, you've got the variations. Start with the first one, then progress to the second one. If we're not ready for the third one, leave it out. So you can see I'm coming back to that first variation. Use your breath. Deep inhales, full exhales, and remember on the exhale, you guys, that's where the meat and potatoes is. That's where we get the release. That's where we get that length. Come back to a forward fold, shift that weight forward, and then slowly heel to those feet. Come together, a little bit closer together, and we find Malasana here. Okay, this is such a good inner hip stretch. You're wanting to get deeper range of motion in your squats. This is the pose. So I'm showing you once again a higher variation. You're going to start higher. Triceps are pushing into those inner thighs. And as I work my shoulder blades together, the chest opens. With the progressional breath, I'm going to start to pull my hip bones forward to that front edge or the wide edge of the front of the mat here. and continue to work that chest open. Use the breath. It's going to be a challenge if we're tighter through the hips, but again, use the variation. You're just going to start up a little bit higher, and then over time, we start to deepen into our Malasana pose here. Oppositionally, I'm working through those hands as well. When we're ready, go ahead and come on up, and we want to get some fluid movement through those hips. So we're going to do this again. I'm going to show you a side profile view this time. Okay, so if your heels are not connected, you guys, if the heels are lifted, I want you to roll up your mat, or I want you to get a pillow or a blanket, something so that you can feel that connection point in the heels of the feet. Okay, so you can see I've got a nice long spine here. And then again, as we come out of this, we're going to get some nice fluid movements through those hips. Go ahead and turn your body. Find a sitting position on your mat. And we're going to work our 3-part breath today, you guys. This is a deepening transition from just a basic yoga breath. So as you take an inhale, I want you to think of a string attached, and we've talked about this before, attached to the crown of the head. As you inhale, you're going to start at the base of the lungs. And you're going to continue to inhale, working to the central part of the lungs. And then you're going to continue to inhale, getting all the way up into the collarbones. Hold the breath and exhale. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold and continue to take that breath again. Inhale at the base. Slowly start to move that breath to the central part of the lungs. Really focus on control here. All the way up into the collarbone, all the way up into the sternum. And exhale slowly. You're going to continue to move through that 3-part. Think about filling up a glass of water, starting at the bottom, moving to halfway mark, all the way up to the brim of the glass. That's your goal. Guys, namaste. I see the divine in you and your power. This is so much fun. Hope you're having a great time, and we'll talk soon.